The Power Rangers franchise has had it rough recently. A toy collection line that has been cancelled, old cast members being surrounded in controversy, and a reboot that has been in production hell ever since 2019. But if it's one thing that the franchise has been struggling with recently, it's video games. Power Rangers has had several video games ever since its humble beginnings 30 years ago, starting off on the Super Nintendo and eventually making its way to modern consoles. But this video isn't a retrospective on Power Ranger video games. No. That video series is for another time later down the line, eventually. This video is going to be me talking about the latest Power Rangers video game that has dropped on mobile devices, Power Rangers Mighty Force. Now, Power Rangers has had a few mobile games over the past couple of years. Some have come and gone, being delisted from stores, some were announced and cancelled before they even began, and some have stood the test of time and are still running today, like Power Rangers Legacy Wars. But Power Rangers Mighty Force that has been released recently feels cheap. It feels boring. It feels like a soulless cash grab in my opinion. Developed by Eastside Game Studios, they're a company located in the mythical land of Vancouver, Canada, and their bio describes them as an indie game studio with a collaborative, creative, fun and culture. Now, I've never heard of this studio before, but I have seen their games show up on the Google Play Store and through the metadata trying to recommend them to me. And what I've noticed is this studio has released games for some very famous and well-known IPs for TV shows like The Office, Trailer Park Boys, Doctor Who, RuPaul, Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Archer, and even the Goldbergs. So for an indie studio, I gotta give them praise for getting to work and make some mobile games on some pretty famous and well-known IPs, but looking at these games on the surface level, they're kind of basic and boring. And that's the same case when it comes to this Power Rangers game. Now, this game is described as a combat strategy, and when I saw the gameplay footage, when this game was in sort of the early phases of testing and sort of being released in certain countries for them to try it out, I was expecting a turn-based RPG or a turn-based strategy game like Final Fantasy or those anime mobile games that sort of follow the same genre. But what we got was something completely different. So when I fired up the game, it was not what I was expecting. So the whole premise of this game is you play as the MMPR Rangers and you team up with various other Rangers from across different seasons to stop Rita, Repulsor and other famous Power Ranger monsters from across the franchise. Well, let me try explaining the gameplay. So, the idea of this game is you have to farm Morph-X energy, and each passing second or minute you'll get a little bit of Morph-X energy. Get enough Morph-X energy and then it will open up another part of the map where you can farm even more Morph-X energy. Now, you can use your Morph-X energy to double your gatherings or farm it faster, and once you level up your characters or your monsters or even collect enough Morph-X energy, you can automatically start farming it so you don't have to tap on it to collect it. Get enough Morph-X energy and do enough tasks, then you'll battle some putties or a monster, initiating a mini boss battle or a boss battle. And this is where the strategy part of the game comes into play here, because there isn't much strategy here. So, for the strategy aspect of the game, you have some Rangers who are good against certain monsters. Jason is strong against putties, Tommy is strong against Eye Guy, Zack is strong against Goldar, and so on and so on. And when you battle against the opposing party, you need to set them down with where they'll be effective. Some Rangers who don't have an effective weakness can hit multiple enemies at once, and I feel like that's where my problem lies with this game, because you can only do these battles when the story requires it. When you're not doing these battles, you'll just be staring at the main hub, watching your Rangers do battle and farm Morph-X. And now, if you do enough tasks, you'll get some loot boxes for upgrading your monsters and your Rangers, and you'll get these cards, coins, and shards. Now, I don't know what the pull rate for these boxes are, but they look like your average loot box. And again, this is another issue that I have with this game. Money. Seeing how you need to upgrade your Rangers to get stronger is an obvious pay-to-win mechanic, because if you want to make more progress in the game or unlock your certain Rangers, then you have to put money into the loot boxes, the more expensive loot boxes, so you have a chance of getting a character that you won't get through the main story. And although I haven't reached that part of the game yet, I have a feeling that you'll probably need to put in a lot more money to progress so you can beat certain bosses. And I don't want to call this the worst Power Rangers game I've ever played, because I haven't played all the Power Ranger video games, but out of all the ones I've played within the past couple of years, this one is probably the worst and probably the most boringest. And I get it, the company is an indie company. I wasn't expecting a AAA mobile game here, but for ages I've been craving a new Power Rangers video game. Battle for the Grid is dead and dried up like a corpse, and Legacy Wars is boring, and whatever Enway is doing now, it's not making new video games, so I have no idea if they have anything planned for brand new Power Ranger mobile games, because they had one planned and it never saw the light of day as they announced it and quickly killed it off. So my main question is, when will we see a new Power Rangers game? Because Mighty Force, this isn't it. This isn't what I was looking for. I decided to check out Mighty Force out of sheer curiosity, and after playing it, I decided to write up a script and make this video. But if you like Mighty Force, more power to you. Leave a comment down below if you enjoy this game or not, because this game was not for me. So hopefully in the nearby future we see a brand new Power Rangers game that's actually fun and entertaining. So anyway guys, I think I'll leave this video here. I'll bring it to a close, and I'll see you guys in the next one, whenever that will be.